Hello, my name's Ian Stone and we're here in Luton near Cornwood, where in 1942 a 4-engine Stirling bomber crashed into the hillside, killing all on board. I moved to the village in 2009 and noticed a cross carved into a tree, so I started to research the history of that crash, and here we are with this memorial here on the hillside to these very brave men. The aircraft was flying down over the Giroud estuary, taken off from Lakenheath in Suffolk, and took heavy fire over France. We believe then it was on fire and flew right over the top of Plymouth, where it sustained heavy artillery attack. And we also believe that the maps were incorrect that they were given. From what we understand, they believed that they were over Portsmouth, sort of southern England, rather than over Dartmoor. A 5-year-old villager remembers watching them fly up through the valley at close to 3:30 in the morning. The weather was absolutely atrocious, thick fog, thick mist, they couldn't see a thing. It flew up, and the next thing he remembers is a large crash into the hillside. The following morning, the Home Guard were on guard here, and him and his friends came up and stole a lot of ammunition from that site. The Home Guard looked after the site until the RAF arrived to remove the plane. They then dragged the plane out and took the bodies away. The Home Guard then carved a cross into the tree as a lasting memorial. For many years there was a cuddly toy hanging out of that tree, we believe from one of the pilots, and it came down approximately 5 years after the crash. In 2011, we decided to start doing a memorial for these brave men, and doing a lot of research, I managed to contact the nephew of one of the gunners inside of the crew. We then worked together to research the whole history of this crew. They were all British, and their families now spread throughout the world. In 2012, on the anniversary of the crash, we brought together all of the family members, apart from the pilot's family, to come here and have a memorial, to look around this site, to have a short service, and then have lunch and talk about their families. We believe the crash happened, they were travelling about between 300 and 400 miles an hour when it flew into the hillside, and there was no survivors. The cross down behind me was carved into the tree, as I said, by the Home Guard, and every year for up to 10 years afterwards they came up and left flowers at the base of that tree. When we were putting in the memorial, we did find small items of crash material, such as copper wires, and also a bottle of tablets, which we believe the pilots were using to keep them awake as they crashed, as they sort of flew across on their missions.
Let's go and look at the cross.
So I'm taking you down now to show you the beech tree that was carved with the cross. This area had very few trees in it when it actually crashed. So a lot of the trees in the area were not here, but these beech trees were here. And as I go round, you can see the cross sort of going across and down, and that was a lasting memorial to those brave men. The crash site happened on the hillside. Again, there was no trees in the area at that time, so it was just an open wasteland. We also believe that some of the engines became detached and travelled through the area. One was found 200 yards further up the valley. And we believe there's some indentations on the track behind us, which shows where two crashed. So here is the memorial that was placed here in 2011, and the crew were Sergeant Geoffrey Robertson, Peter Jenkins, Dudley Harris, Doug Simpson, Lawrence Nicholson, Frank Clark and Cecil Bond. Every year On the anniversary on the 21st of August, we come up here and lay flowers to these men, as well as on Remembrance Sunday. Quite often there's a lot of the villagers come up for these services as well, and we've had up to 100 people here paying their respects to these men. It was a great sacrifice they gave for us, so they need to be remembered.
And just here are the indentations, because this wall we believe wasn't here. That's right, isn't it?
That is, yes. So a lot of the area above us, we believe, wasn't as it is today. It's been made up of a lot of sort of waste ground from the local quarries. So this area was sort of heavily reinstated after the war. But we believe this area here is a possible site of where one of the engines sort of lay.
And this could be the other one up here.
Yes. So they were, as I said, 4-engine sort of Stirling bomber. So these are sort of, we believe, two of the areas where the engines ended up, and one was further up the valley. We also have some really nice stories from some of the people who came to the memorial. One of the ladies who came along, a very elderly lady, her husband was best friends with the pilot, and he came to the site, and they managed to take a bit of the perspex from the pilot's screen, and he turned that into a wedding ring, so his friend was always remembered by her. When her husband died, she buried that wedding ring with him, so his friend Geoffrey Robertson would always be with him and they'd be together.
A very lovely bit of local history.
Very lovely, yes, and it means a lot to the villagers.
Thank you for your time.